Well, hello shareholders, back from Germany from the gun trade show IWA and sitting in a pigeon hide in Somerset, so nicely removed from big tin sheds outside German cities. So there's lots to cover this week. Good reaction to last week. I'm glad you liked the vlog. We've had some positive comments about that, and a good way to gang up on me is to leave a comment below this film. And of course, if you want to keep your comments private, just email me, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. A little bit of housekeeping. First of all, some of you have not had your share certificates and merch. I think I've managed to email everybody who's sent in a complaint so far. If you have not had anything and I have not contacted you, please can you let me know, because I'll need to resend it. I think something went wrong with the local post office there. What have we got this week? Well, we come back from IWA with more films than could fill 52 programmes. But at the same time, of course, all those companies are looking at the commitments they've made and thinking, oh my goodness, that's far too much. So we'll expect a little bit of attrition over the next few weeks. Basically, it's looking better this year than it ever has, and the gun trade show IWA is the best place to sell films, especially to the international advertisers who can afford us. The ideas from shareholders went down extremely well. It was very good to be able to look an advertiser in the eye and say, this is what the viewers want. So Eat It has got backers. I'd like to hold off for another week before I announce who. The Get Started series looks like it's got some backers, and the Q&As as well. I think we'll be able to make those. So what looks good at the moment is Kayak Bryn's Hunt and Cook series running to 5 episodes, and spin-off recipe or eat it items from that, making up to 10 90-second items. Will this get people eating more game? I hope it'll help, but where I think it will really score in our efforts to talk up game meat is in showing our shooters and hunters' sense of responsibility towards game, and a publicity boost for the various game meat marketing initiatives around the country. We want to showcase those. We also want to make short Q&A items, questions and answers with the likes of Crow and Roy, and short Get Started items. That's the Get Started in Field Sports series, designed to be simple, useful films about how to start out in all kinds of hunting and shooting. So thank you Tom Norman and Nigel Appleton for that idea of making those slightly shorter. Nigel has since got back to say he would like the Eat Its to tie in to the previous feature. I see the point, and I think that would work where we can. It's a natural segue. You've just seen us shoot roebuck, now let's eat one. But there's also going to be some production pressure there, so I think we'll be okay. It's an obvious one using the YouTube infrastructure of pinging people from one film to another. If we put a card at the end of the roebuck film pointing to a roebuck cookery film from a completely different episode, I think that will still work, especially in the standalone side. Nigel also asks 2 other questions. One is, can we include fishing in Fieldsports Britain? And I think that's an extremely good idea. Field sports means fishing after all. I just want to give it another couple of weeks, see if I can possibly get Fishing Britain up and away. I've got one more avenue I'd like to explore there, so please bear with me on that one. And Trig Advisor, which is that funny map I showed you, Nigel thinks a little bit of work would set that right. Well, I think he's right. He says he doesn't want us to spend a lot of time on that kind of thing when we could be out making films. Well, actually that kind of thing, we have a small team, people like Nikki Sadler from Herefordshire, Meredith Grant from Kent, who help us out on that kind of general social media stuff. So don't worry about that, we can get them to do that. So we'll set a project deadline of the end of April on that, if that's okay, because it's your show. Finn Morton, thank you for the Fieldsports Approved idea. So Finn emails to say that alongside the idea of using money to buy channels, you could have a Fieldsports Approved type thing awarded to people who are at the forefront or making big steps in the industry. That's an interesting idea. It's a little bit sort of authoritative, you know, us putting our stamp of approval on things. What do you think? Do you think that could work? Please let me know, because I'm not sure it's a decision I can make. I think I'm too close to it. Obviously, I would be delighted to be Fieldsports Approved, but would anybody else? So let me know. Patrick Angier, new shareholder, and he's been very helpful behind the scenes with how to set up this whole DPO idea. Now he says, I could be spending too much time talking to you. Again, the appeal is, if you're bored of these, let me know. If I'm sending out too much, let me know. He says, I should be spending more time trying to bring in advertising. Well, I think the balance is okay, but if I see the income drop off from advertising, obviously I will be back at the front line. James Westbrook, who is our commercial director, is doing a very good job. He's very popular in the trade, and certainly everybody was pleased to see him over the weekend. Thank you, James Dove, for reminding me to put a bullet list of what's in this DPO news in the description below the film, so I've done that. Thank you, Callum Hepburn, for the reloading feature idea. I think we're going to include that as part of a sort of get started +1, and even use it as part of a Q&A. We've done some reloading with Roy. We've never had very much support for reloading. I don't know if you've seen the reloading with Rosie films recently put out by Edgar Brothers. They're the main importers of reloading kit in the UK. I think it's absolutely excellent what they've done. It's very, very, very well made filming. I think if Rosie had run on our channel, she could have attracted some criticism for being a lovely model who doesn't know about reloading. So we were offered that one. We did turn that one down on that basis, but I urge you to go and have a look at the films on the Edgar Brothers channels, because they are really good. Thanks to Simon Rickson, who might be helping me out with some of the out of town material we'll need if we're going to get the out of town series underway. We didn't find any specific sponsors for that, but I am confident that with the quality of the presenter we got in mind for it, it'll be pretty easy to do. I'll let you know more about that as we get there. I've been in touch with the Association of Working Lurchers, so I hope we're going to film with them before the end of the year. Plus, Richard Walton, shareholder, has very kindly put me in touch with the Irish coursing organisations who are doing such good work conserving the hare in Ireland. It's really down to them that the hare is coming back. And talking of conservation, if it wasn't for the DPO, I wouldn't have had my jolly jaunt to Brussels last week, the fruits of which you'll be able to watch in the show tomorrow night. Now, big question on David's mind. This hat, better on or off? Yeah, I think we're right. See you next week.